Be strong and get healthy. Stretch. Feel great about yourself and have some fun. It's time for you. Fitness is the key to your future. Don't get locked out. Take the challenge. Commit to be fit. Thanks for joining me today on Commit to be Fit. I'm Susie Smith. I have a special guest here again with me today. His name is Paul Tripoli, addiction counselor and therapist. Thanks for being on the show, Paul.
Always a pleasure. Thanks for having me back. Today, we had spoken in the last segment about exercises and addiction, and I wanted to show people who are in recovery or who are battling addiction that there are many exercises that you can do at home that you don't need to join a gym. You don't have to get all the fancy gear and the fancy clothes, nor do you have to stock your basement full of weights. There's so many things around the home and in our environments, apartments, three-quarter houses, or just out on the street that we can use as our natural exercising gym. And this is great because it's very inexpensive. We know that when people exercise that they have a greater sense of well-being, and we know that it raises the endorphins up when people exercise. But just the simple fact of using some type of resistive force helps really build muscle. And for people that are really feeling disempowered, maybe because of an addiction, this is one great way to really feel a certain sense of personal power back.
And I find that there are days that I want to work out, but I don't feel like putting on makeup, fixing my hair, getting dressed, driving all the way to a gym. So I've built a gym at home. For the last 5 years, I've actually worked exclusively at home, and I love the home workout because it's just when you're in the mood, you're in the mood. And like we're talking about addiction, if you find yourself wavering, the best thing to do is start moving.
Absolutely. Change of latitude changes the attitude, I say.
That's a good idea.
So once somebody gets up and gets going, it's very easy to move out of that mindset. But if we stay in that spot and we're playing with the phone or we're on the computer or we're trapped in that cycle of negative thinking, man, you can really go down the rabbit hole. And so a change of latitude brings on a change of attitude. So I told you this was just very basic workout, and in order to start my workouts, I have to don my equipment or take off some of the equipment. So first things first, the bling comes off.
The bling's coming off.
And then the next thing is the glasses come off. And then my Mr. Rogers.
Oh, it's a good day in the neighborhood.
Yes, thank you, Susie. And now the suspenders will stay on because we don't need a mishap of wardrobe malfunction on your show.
No, we don't want that on the show. Okay.
And I tend to always work out with a bit of a sock on my head. It's just a habit, and I stick with the habit. So here comes the workout sock.
Now, when I tell Paul, surprise me, Paul always surprises me. This is great.
Much to my surprise, that bling wouldn't come off, but we're going to keep it on.
Okay.
One of the first things I brought
I'm not cleaning. I am not cleaning today.
I don't want you to clean.
Okay.
But I want you to look at the broom now as a piece of exercise equipment.
Okay.
I had surgery on my shoulder one time, and they simply assigned me a broomstick. And with that stick, I was able to move my surgically repaired shoulder. That's a tongue twister.
I've had that done too, and I have used the stick.
So it moves the shoulder up through the range of motion. So instead of me lifting a resistive weight or trying to work that injured shoulder, this helps move the shoulder up through the range of motion. But also, now watch yourself here.
Okay.
And we know that we need to stretch first, and that's always important. So with a broomstick,
and I'm sure everyone has a broom.
I would hope they do.
Yeah.
That's what we ought to get into. For those of you that don't have a broom, we will sell them after the show. How about that?
We'll even autograph them.
So simple stretching, just bringing through a range of motion. And stretching is so essential because people are really bound up tightly. And if you think about some of the deleterious effects that the drugs have had on the human body. It affects the tissue, the muscle, it affects the bone, it affects the organs. All the drugs, all the alcohol really does damage. And so it's really important to be very gentle when you bring yourself into a stretch and through the range of motion.
No.
But it also helps relieve tension because people might have felt very, very anxious lately.
And you're opening up your chest. You're opening up so you can breathe better because your chest is open, your shoulder blades are back. And most of the things that we do all day, if you're looking at Paul right now, this isn't what we do all day. We're like this. We're on computers, our arms are forward, we're picking up kids, we need to open up. That's an excellent exercise. And how do you feel just after like a couple moves? Don't you start to feel better in your mind?
I feel so much better, and it is normal or natural to breathe deeply with the stretch. And that bringing in that oxygen, man, we need that.
So if you're feeling depressed, right here, this is where you start. This is at home. We're just going to pick up a broom and start stretching out and opening the chest so that you can actually get some air into your lungs. Because a lot of times when you're stressed out and you're trying to, get through this addiction phase, you're not breathing. You're holding your breath.
Most people who have anxiety, and most of the people that I've met that are in addiction or recovering, really reported a very high level of anxiety. So deep breathing helps bring in that oxygen. We do tend to pant when we have anxiety or we're worried about something, but through deep breathing, now we're running more oxygen in through the lungs, more oxygenated blood cycling through the body, doing the repair that the body needs to do because of the damage. And this is our other best friend, simply water.
Okay.
It's been shown that for people that feel anxious, simply by drinking water brings on a sense of calm. And of course, we need the hydration. And water also, most people who feel hungry, it's really more of a thirst. And by drinking water, you're less likely to eat or overeat.
And we are, 75% water? Our tissues?
I think it's higher than that, but we really need to hydrate very well. The ratio is for every pound body weight, you want to consume 1 ounce of water.
Okay.
That's a lot of water for me, but that's good. Good hydration, good processing, good circulation.
And it just makes your skin, makes you feel better and look better, and you can think better. It's like gasoline into a car. I mean, we can't really function without water.
This is our stuff.
That's it.
So let's just take, for example, this gallon of water. Here's this gallon of water, and before I drink out of it, what can I do with that? Again, a simple home exercise.
Well, that weighs what, 8-point-something pounds, a gallon of water?
And so let's say it's 8 pounds. So here's just a simple overhead lift or even just a curl. And for anything and everything that you handle during the day, if you do a couple of repetitions with just that simple household item.
This is a kettlebell. It's exactly like a kettlebell. So there you go. You've got an 8-pound kettlebell.
So I'm getting more exercise now just by going around my house and lifting a few things. And now, at the end of that heavy lift,
It's making me thirsty.
and now we drink. What
That's
other
great.
things do we have around the house that we can use for exercise? Well, our friend the bucket.
Okay, I've got a bucket at home.
Same thing with the bucket. You can put any amount of weight in there that you can tolerate or you're comfortable with. Here's a regular household item. I have in there just regular iced drinks. And with the bucket, suppose I'm going to go clean up the floor. But prior to that, I can just do a few squats, which maybe I haven't done squats in a long, long time. But here I am just with a light weight.
That is such an important exercise, the squat.
It is very important, as you know, because the strength in the core, and then these are big, big muscles back here. And by using those muscles and just doing some basic squats, oh my gosh, already you can feel that blood pumping and circulating.
And you start to feel alive and you start to feel purpose.
I feel alive already.
Yeah, and this is great because as we age, and we're all aging, it's
We
hard.
are?
Well, some people are immature, but some of us are aging. But
I'll
sorry,
stick
Paul.
with being Peter Pan.
But for some people, it is hard to get out of chairs or hard to get off the toilet, or, you know, it's part of aging, and you need to keep up with those squats.
I've watched many people having difficulty just rising up from a chair or from a couch because they're so sedentary.
Yeah.
And then when they get up, they feel very lightheaded, and that's a big problem, especially in an older population.
Yeah.
But it's important with just a little bit of resistive exercise. It's amazing the amount of muscle fiber that builds up just from low impact or low weight resistive exercise.
So you don't have to go to a gym. You don't have, and right now, I'm not big on the fitness industry. Right now, I call this the New Year BS, buying spree. You thought something else. But the buying spree, it's like they want you to buy, okay, say kettlebells, your gallon of water. You don't have to buy a kettlebell, you can use that. They just have so many things out there right now to try to get your money. And I would just say stay away from all of it in January. You know, stay away from the gym, the flu bugs and everything. Do this.
And don't get involved with the New Year's resolution crowd.
No.
Wait until February when they've already broken the resolution.
February 7th is the average day for the resolutionists. That's what we call them, the resolutionists. And they're going to do everything. They have these big, big plans. And by February 7th, they're burnt out. They've done too much.
Well, that's
Too
where you get
fast.
good discounted equipment then on February 8th.
Yeah, February 8th, that's the date. But yeah, this is great.
And people that I know in the recovery community don't have the money to join a gym. I know that some gyms make enticing offers, $10 a month,
Yeah.
and I'm not downing those places. But that $10 a month might mean between me and a couple of meals that I would rather have than putting it toward a gym, because it's not the $10 a month. It's the $10 a month getting up, getting a ride to the gym. The majority of people that I know also in recovery don't have their own personal vehicle. Those in active addiction typically don't have their own personal vehicle. And
So it makes it a lot harder for them to actually do what they had promised themselves they're going to do if they have to get up, get dressed, get out, drive, go through the traffic, make all those changes.
I think it already sets people up for a certain sense of fail. So all the exercise equipment that you need, you can find in your place, your apartment.
Okay.
I'm going to put this broom down in my bucket. Now, this is also part of exercising. Now, this is paint. I'm not going to advertise the manufacturer.
Okay.
But again, sitting around the house, a lot of people have buckets of old paint around.
I know I do.
And so again, it's a great exercise tool. It's something that you can use to do a variety of exercise. Here's our obliques, and then a little bit of a stretch. Here is
Upright rows.
upright rows, and then a resistance down.
That's a
for
nice
the
exercise,
traps.
building the traps and just keeping your back strong and your neck strong, because your head weighs about 8 pounds.
Mine's a little heavier
Or
than
12
that. but
maybe, yeah. All that information in there. But yeah, this is great. You're not going to
Upright
get a better
rows.
workout in a gym.
And then,
Oh,
of course,
tricep.
just some straightforward tricep extension. Of
That's-
course, we know bicep curls. And this is just a bucket of paint. How much would it cost to have a bucket of paint? And I'm sure, again, if you look under a cabinet or in the basement somewhere, that you have a bucket of paint lying around.
Well, I like this because I like adventure in my workout. I like to look around and think, what can I do with that? You know, what can I do with a chair, you know? And I'm holding a log here. You're probably all wondering why I'm holding a log. Why am I holding this log, Paul?
So it won't fall down on the floor.
Oh, okay. I knew there was a reason.
This is actually not a prop. This is something, and I remember now I'm dating myself, but in a Rocky movie, when Rocky was training in Russia,
What year was that?
I think my fondest memories were still in black and white.
Okay.
But in the Rocky movie, he was training outdoors in the snow, and he was working out with logs. And so This was part of a tree that we cut down from our yard, and I stripped off the bark and I let it dry out, and then I weighed it, and I know how much this log weighs, and there's times where I can just walk around with the log. And there it is, nature provided. So again, squats,
Chest is open. Lunges.
lunges,
This is great. It's just a log from out in your backyard.
and then toe raises,
Working the whole body.
working those calves, core. And so here it is, nature's exercise equipment, cheap. You'll find them lying on the ground.
Well, you know, I wanted to mention that today too, that gym memberships can be expensive, like you said, and equipment can be expensive, and the clothes that you want to wear to look nice in public. But fitness is free.
Fitness is free. So let's go over a basic format that I use.
Okay.
When I get up the same time every day. That builds consistency. And we had talked about in the earlier segment about when the alarm clock goes off, it's time to get up. So we're not going to start our day with a lie, but we're going to start our day with invigoration. I start my day then, same time every day, builds consistency, and that's important. Then I start my prayer and meditation, really getting my mind in the right mode. I'm going to do great today. I'm feeling so much stronger today. I'm feeling very empowered today. I'm powerful. I will, I can, I know. And that's my meditative
All
stance.
positive thoughts.
All forward moving. I pray, I put on uplifting music, and then I start lifting. And so I have weights, but I use a variety of things in my own home to get exercise with and to use, and sometimes even the little puppy dog, Noelle, which you know Noelle.
Noelle.
And so she's not the best piece of
Little
exercise
terrier.
equipment because she moves, but it's a lot of fun. And when I'm lying on the ground doing crunches in my basement, there's Noelle, and she's providing a resistive assist sometimes on my chest.
Do you know, that's funny you should say that. I have 2 hound dogs, but my biggest hound dog, Hoppy, I have a little Alvin, but Hoppy's like 85 pounds. He'll lie on the floor, and I like to do like up and overs over Hoppy. So I'll do like some jumps over Hoppy, and he'll lay there until I ask him to leave. But yeah, sure, you can work out with your dog.
Isn't that fun?
I know, it's great.
The other last item, and it's so common, I mean, people might have thought it was just sitting there, if
Can
you
we
don't
take
mind.
that? Okay.
A chair. How many different exercises can you do with a chair? Now, if I'm sedentary and I don't have that mobility in my legs anymore, again, I can do a number of exercises just from a seated position.
You could have a paint bucket on each side.
I could. Or even just the 2 bottles of juice that I have. And for somebody who maybe is impaired or they're not able to move as well as they used to be able to, they don't have the function in their legs like they used to, again, just from a seated position and doing simple extensions without any weight, but just to get the legs moving and the circulation. And it's so empowering. It is just so empowering to have that movement.
And if we can get people hooked on fitness, then we can get them off of drugs, I think.
I know that there's different approaches and many different avenues that we take to try to get people out of active addiction. But for today, we're really going to emphasize the exercise because it is mind, it is body, and it is spirit, and it's nutrition. I know when I work out, I eat better, more clean.
It makes you want to. It makes you want to fuel your body with good stuff.
Good stuff.
I've been working out now for regularly for 35 years, and the impetus was quitting smoking, and that was such a tough addiction for me. And I know I've talked about it a lot on my shows, but exercise has helped me so much.
It is so mind clearing for me, and to be able to do the things that I'm passionate about, I get to start my day with my happiness, with my passion, and therefore I don't have to spend my day thinking, why didn't I? Why didn't I? I started it, I did it,
made
And
that decision.
there's how I launch throughout my day, with that great starting point. And consistency helps build even more of that release and more of that energy. And I feel fantastic.
You can do just about anything on a chair. You can
It's-
do push-ups.
You can do push-ups on the chair. I like to do my toe raises. You can do one leg at a time and balance by holding the chair.
See, we want to
So
make
calf
this
raise.
simple for people to just do at home, just to get moving. So there's not a lot of equipment. Just grab some things in your house, just like Paul said.
Yes,
It's
it's
just-
so easy.
It's so easy. And
It
that-
really is. And I think of stairs as our treadmill,
Oh.
going up and down the steps. I encourage people to have a Post-it at the top of the steps or even at the bottom, and you maybe mark it each time you go past that Post-it just with a hash or a slash, and you build up some repetition there and raise up your cardio effect. Steps.
Steps are really good. I like to do like up and down 5 times, just to get moving before my workout. I'll go up and jog back down, go back up, jog back down. And just, be careful. You want to hold on. You don't want to be falling. But yeah, steps are excellent. Just life is your gym. The earth is your gym. I mean, we take so much for granted.
For me, the way I look at addiction is we're all recovering from life. Life has big, big challenges, And so the key really is not how we avoid a challenge, they'll always come, but it's how we move through the challenge. The more fit physically, mentally, spiritually, nutritionally that I am, whatever challenge comes, I know I'm very well equipped to be able to manage and handle that challenge. And so it's not that my life will get better once I don't have these challenges, or that bill is paid off, or the kids are living out of the house. My life gets better as soon as I decide I want it better, and then I take action to improve it. One of the easiest ways to take action in improving your life is simple exercise. And you can always build up from those simple exercises to more complex movements, and keep adding to it to add more resistance, more cardio, and it'll continually grow. You'll never hit a peak of where you've just have no more exercises ever to do, because you know, as you continue to age, then you do certain exercises that are relevant and relative to your age.
I've had to modify, I've been lifting for 35 years, and I've had to modify certain things, and that's okay, and I want people to know that that's okay. I'm getting stronger on certain exercises, but other things I've had to modify around injuries and that sort of thing. But this is great, Paul. I think you have really given our audience just so many things to choose. I mean, just look at your house, and this is great to let people know that it's okay to do it at home. And well, Paul, we've just about run out of time today, and do you have any final words for people watching today? Some information?
Well, my words of experience and my words of hope are that if you are struggling with any kind of addiction, or you know people that are, first step is to always step forward and ask for help. Tell somebody that you need help. Tell them that you're struggling, and don't be afraid to do that, because if you do that, they're probably going to look at you and say, yeah, I know you are. And people are ready and willing to help. There's a number of agencies, there's toll-free numbers, there's places where people can stay, there's coffee houses that you can walk into and just be embraced and welcomed. And for those that really want to move their life forward, they're already attending meetings, or they're taking certain medications to help block the opioids. Keep with programs, stay steady, and add to what you're doing, especially adding exercise.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Susie.
Thank you, Paul. And thank you, Paul.
Thank you for all your work.
Well, thank you. And Paul's a volunteer just like I am, and I think that's one of the most important things, is volunteering to help people.
Absolutely. It brings a lot of wealth back to me.
It does.
Amen.
Amen. Well, thank you so much for being here and enjoying our show. And just take care of yourself. Remember, you are important. You matter. That's the main thing. People love you, whether you realize it or not. And remember, take the challenge and commit to be fit.
Oh, give me a home where the buffalo roam, where the deer and the antelope play, where seldom is heard a discouraging word, and the skies are not cloudy all day. Home, home on the range, where the deer and the antelope play, where seldom is heard a discouraging word, and the skies are not cloudy